How are ya? LFT. Can you hear me? Hi, Mal. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Hey, Butterfly Kisses. Hello.
Hi, sorry. I don't know why it wasn't working.
Every time. Every time.
I'm sitting right here. I hadn't moved since you just saw me a minute ago.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really know what happened there.
I was like, I'm here. I was like, hi. And then I was like, wow.
No one can hear you. No one can hear
you. The avatar wasn't moving, and I was like, I think mine's broken.
Good afternoon.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you for, hey, Tomboy, thanks for being here. Delana. I have my Erik glasses on today.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get I literally have an X-Acto knife in my hand right now. Trying to pull at, I know this is going to, well, remember when we bought those Zeal glasses forever ago?
Yeah.
I just found them, and apparently I didn't get, the last time I wore them, I probably had a price tag hanging from them. So where I ripped the price tag off, though, on the little arm of this looks like I could create a Stitches kind of moment. I should probably be careful.
What are you doing?
I want the sticky part of the tag off of the sides of the glasses.
Use scissors. Move on, sister.
The scissors are too big to cut it. That's why I had to get a knife.
Oh, this cannot end well. This just is not going to go well.
I would show y'all, but this would mean
So, as you saw, breaking news. We had bets that it was going to be tomorrow, that Gascón was going to announce it tomorrow. But apparently he's announcing it this afternoon. And like I said, I was telling LFT, and my husband and I were talking about this. This is just a recommendation. This is not, we're not going to, he can say, I'm going to recommend resentencing, or I'm going to recommend retrial, or I'm going to recommend release, or I'm going to recommend that their ass stay right where it is. Just like our little friend Wolfie says up there that I was pretty biased in our poll. And I do agree with that. I was, actually. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
I was a little biased in the poll, I guess.
Where's our option D?
Interesting. I just saw something. Here's EBC.
Haha. Just so y'all know, I just got the stickiness off of one side.
I'm trying to do this so we don't have any ads. Maybe?
Let
me share it.
If you can't, I found the like I saw Fox 11 already had theirs up, so that's the one I sent and messaged.
So does ABC 7. Oh, and E News. I'm not doing E News. We're doing okay. Yeah, I have Fox 11 up. What the hell is this?
The record, Mallory.
Hold on a second.
What? Mallory, I did a lot of other important stuff too, besides
Fox 45 News. That is not what I want.
Fox 11.
I know, I had it up. Oh, because it's over here. Here it be. All right, we're going to share this. Sorry. Did I miss saying hi to someone? No, good. Awesome. Yes, please go subscribe to our friend Mallory. She's our best friend. We love her. And it was just her birthday, so you can wish her a happy birthday all over again. Because we're those kind of girls. We like to celebrate all month.
Yeah. And yeah, I do say so. And I would like a Cobb salad with the avocado lime ranch dressing, please, Delana.
Just left Sam's Club. It was crazy in there. Oof. Okay. So I'm going to share. We got a couple minutes before this happens, but I'm just going to share. We'll just share the screen right now until. Can I get a sweet tea too? All that. Oh, we love you, Mal. We love you.
Or just a packet of the avocado lime ranch dressing.
Yeah, that's addicting, by the way. Yes, let's everybody wish Mal a happy birthday again, because why not? Who cares? We celebrate all month. Sometimes we celebrate more than a month. Sometimes we just say happy birthday because it's 6 months away. Let's get those bitches on. Come on.
Well, see the sticky.
Who cares? No one can see it. Turn them on. Put them on. What?
Not till I get up. I was trying to show you. I went on camera. I get some points. I got to get otherwise I look silly. I made fun of freaking the hat person the other day when he was wearing the shades, because I was like, how funny. I was like, I'm done if I see a price tag hanging off of them. And then lo and behold.
You don't see a price tag hanging off of them. So, why? Okay. I was trying to get why we were just getting this weird view of this lady. You're sick. What?
Wolfie's sick too.
Wolfie's sick too? We have a sick wolf and a sick Mal. A-woo. A-no. I hate that. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys feel better. Oh, Tomboy Charm hasn't gotten out of bed all day because she doesn't feel good.
I think it's
guys.
I think it's the weather. I keep taking like my Zyrtec and stuff because I'm like, please don't let it be anything else. But I can tell you, sometimes when you blow your nose.
That sniffle when she said that. She's like, yep, I'm sick.
No, but I've just felt like kind of sluggish and icky on top of so I'm hoping that all we're having is everyone that doesn't feel super great, that it's kind of, oh wait, never mind. Mallory has an excuse for why she's sick, and she already has a culprit that apparently left the country.
What are you? What culprit has left the country?
Her dad, and then he ditched her and left her. He's in Santorini.
Okay. Hey, daycare mama, welcome in. You're on a break from work? Awesome. We're waiting to see. Let me make sure, because now they stopped.
I'm going to put those links in the chat so people can have a
do that. Fox 11 Los Angeles, but we need. Apparently, they just went off. ABC. Okay. Oh, I know her. Hold on, I'm gonna take this one off, and we're gonna share this one instead. There we go.
Copy.
There's Joan in the front row there. Let's see if they're saying anything yet.
In this case. Thank you so much for joining us. So what do you think will happen today?
Well, I can't imagine that we're going to have all this fanfare. This is now the second press conference in about as many weeks' time without this being a pretty significant announcement. So I think that what we're going to hear is that George Gascón has agreed with.
What's happening? Oh, there goes my internet. Perfect.
Okay, wait. Oh my gosh.
Sucks.
All right, come on, North Carolina. Let's show them what we're able to do.
Oh my God, look at that. Right when we're about to start. Holy moly, this sucks. Sorry, guys. I'll get it fixed. I will make it happen. I want to know. I love you. We are live, Wheel.
Mm-hmm. And just for the record, I just put into links to just basic resentencing, the resentencing unit in the LA District Attorney's Office, and the special directive that was like amended and went out, I think, in 2022.
Don't you love Mel? Oh no, not North Carolina Wi-Fi. We haven't. Yeah, we might be. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can get it on another screen. It's just one of those things that is just one of those things.
Hold on, let me
Yep,
look at
it is.
I got it up.
I got it. I got it.
Oh wow, I just went really full screen on mine.
It's hard to say that it doesn't play any role, but you're absolutely
right. Oh, okay.
We've changed
WFLA,
certainly our view towards
Fox 11's got it too. I'm watching it. They're all moving around.
Of it. I think all of that has changed, and I think he's decided that their case deserves another look.
Well, let's talk about that if we can. We're still awaiting George Gascón to come in and make his announcement, but Joshua Ritter.
Oh my God. You're going to have to share this. Do it from the ABC 7, though.
Really? We want to switch off the one that I actually have that's working? Okay. ABC 7?
Yeah.
Got it. Hold on.
Oh, look, somebody else is having problems. It's YouTube is acting fantastic. It might not be me. It might be them.
Okay. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, I do want you to try.
All right.
I'm going to remove it again. Hello, Navigator. So the options today for recommendation, and this is only recommendation. This is not like end all be all. This is what's going to happen. This is the recommendation that goes to the judge, and then the judge makes the final decision. The recommendation is going to be resentencing. It's going to be retrial, which that's going to be the least of them, I think, because that's going to be the most expensive. So I don't think it's going to be retrials. It's going to be resentencing, retrial, release, or nothing, or they stay where they are. The thing that makes me think that they will get release or resentencing is because one of the things on the table is, have they helped make a difference in someone else's life in prison? Have they been rehabilitated? And the answer is a resounding yes. So hopefully. Now, not everybody agrees with me. I think Kathy P has a different opinion. I know Wolfie does. So everyone is entitled to their belief and their opinion. And I stand by that. I respect it. Not everybody believes. Let's see what our poll says, shall we? Where are we in our poll? Did you vote?
Yeah.
LA prosecution oh, sugar snaps. Resentenced. Did you hit the play button?
I mean, I'm sharing.
Yeah, I know, but did you hit the play button?
No, I was waiting. It hasn't. They have
Don't hit it. Because they've already announced it. Brian Etten just came out and said LA prosecutors want Erik and Lyle resentenced in the 1989 killing of their parents, officials say.
Well, I think that's what everyone, that's like what I said to you earlier. And you're like, it's a resentencing that they've announced that. They haven't gone live.
Can you hit the go button and bring us up to date here? I did the poll. You said release. Oh, okay. All right. AP has it too. Do you have sound?
Okay, y'all can't hear it?
Not a thing, no. Mm-mm.
All right, hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let me do it one more time.
No one can hear. I think they're going to release them. No way to retrial. The cost of the state would be astronomical. I agree. Also, we're going to go live a little bit later on once we get the news. But one of the things that's going to be interesting is to see how they do once they're released. They could potentially have a hard time.
Hold on, share. I'm just said, screw it. I'm sharing my, hold on. It's taking a second. I click share.
Really?
Oh my God.
You're taking a lunch break?
Y'all should hear these kids outside.
Okay, well, we're trying to.
I'm trying to. I hit share and it's just a delay. It's like I'm share. Your browser has blocked your screen.
Oh my God.
I got it. Hold on. Share screen.
I got it.
Here we go.
How long?
Right now, it's almost, we're looking at if they had manslaughter and they served this many years, they've done this thing. Am I right there? That much of what has been done right now is behavior in prison justifies.
Are you sharing or is that me?
I am.
You're right. That is a large part of the argument that their defense team is making is that, listen, in the meantime, in this 30-some odd years since they've been in prison, they've been exemplary prison.
God bless America. All right, share yours.
Okay.
I don't know if it's us, if it's YouTube, what the actual. No, it's cutting out. I'm so sorry. I apologize, Wheel. It's cutting out. All right, let's share LFTs and hope to God it works. Hit the play.
Well, at the time of their trial, there may have been a different result. But what Gascón is saying.
No, you got to reshare it. It sounds like crap.
Look at that evidence, and if I agree with it, then I'm.
Oh yeah, I'm having fun.
Hold on. I gotcha.
I am holding. I've been holding. My computer's not working. Your computer's not working. This isn't going well. This is why I've been nervous all day. I just wanted this one stream to go well. Play. Once again, we have no sound, LFT.
I got an idea. I know what it's doing. Give me a second. I think give me 1 second. I think I got
better,
it.
like Hardee's original.
You know what it's
back and better than ever. Just $6.99. Mix and match any two full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger.
because we've been covering this, I really am hoping that we get to, whoopsie, I wanted to do it like that.
He's walking out on AP now.
I have AP up.
Okay, that's where I've got that up as well. And I opened it in the YouTube app on the computer, so that may help if you're shut down.
He keeps having to refresh hours. Nope. So when it does the circle, am I leaving or is it just? Is it me that's cutting out or is it just the stream or is it just the?
I
I'll be
don't.
back.
I'm not sure. I was about to say, let me before you sign out.
No, don't leave. Don't leave. You don't leave.
I'm not going. Well, I was not going to go anywhere. I was going to say, just FYI, I opened it up in the YouTube app on the computer instead of opening it in like a browser. So I'm going to see if that
Let's
helps.
see if this helps.
And if not, if TS doesn't.
Okay, you thought it was just me sharing. My sound goes out. My sound has been going out. Okay.
So can I try real fast while I have it open in the YouTube app?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want you to do it at the same time as I did, though. Just want to share my screen. And I want the Menendez brothers to... Oh, we can watch it in Spanish. Okay, come on.
There's no sound right now that I'm hearing either, so I don't think there's sound, but can y'all see that?
I have sound.
As it relates to the Menendez brothers. And again,
But not
Mark Garagos and Mr. Gascón have both said that they have been looking at this for almost a year and a half. Garagos had explained that they were aggressively looking at this for a year and a half. And Joshua, you mentioned that there is debate as to the path forward. I think that's just a common feeling for so many people. I don't know of anyone that I've spoken to on this who lived the trial, who remembers the trial, that's really adamant that
I'm watching yours.
No, I just asked you to leave it up because I knew mine wasn't going to stay.
Okay, I'll just hit share again. I couldn't tell if I was hearing mine or yours.
We apologize for please. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
But the good news is it has not. They have not come out and spoken yet. We've got it going.
This is why we started it early, but I was hoping that we would be a little bit farther.
So I don't. That's your screen because I have the AP one up. And
I know you do. I know you do. I got it up.
No, I was just making sure because it was confusing me because I was like, wait a minute. How
do you have sound on yours? Because otherwise I'm just going to have Wheel come up.
I can hear it, but I got to turn it up.
You do not have sound. All right, send the link to Wheel. I got it. Thank you, Wheel. You're a gentleman and a scholar and a lifesaver. Do you have sound on that right now, LFT?
Right now, there's like I can hear buzzing in the background, but no one's speaking.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
How are you girls doing?
I've had better days.
If you tell me what, I mean, there's a lot of, I just put Menendez press conferences in a lot of different outlets. So if you tell me if you got a particular one, you let me know and I'll pull it up. I've got the one I have now is Fox 11 Los Angeles.
That's fine. That's great.
Okay, let me share the screen.
You don't hear that?
No.
Hold on one second here. Present, share screen. Live Menendez. And let's see if that does it.
And he's wondering if this is all.
Yes, we can hear.
This in
Is
fact
that good?
is an election year stuff.
Thank you, Wheel.
Right now,
I'm glad
as
to
we
help.
wait
I mean,
for the LA District Attorney to come to talk
having to
to
refresh film, and I
everybody
thought my
about his
screen was refreshed. I don't
announcement,
know.
we
I
do
thought-
understand that the family is speaking with him and meeting behind closed doors. We are getting an announcement that this is going to take place any moment now.
Now, if anybody, if you want another news outlet, let me know. But I think this is just as good as any, I guess.
Well, look, yours is doing wacky things too.
Now what? Now mine's doing the same thing too. Hold
That
on.
is
Hold on.
weird.
I know. That's just what I kept trying. I just refreshed it. Hold on.
Analysis after all this, because we do have Fox 11 in the evening that will be.
I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if I have to, I'll just refresh it.
Okay, thanks, Wheel.
All right, and we did see the lawyer of the family being hugged by family members. So again, certainly this is a day and an announcement. If we're expecting to hear that they're both going to be resentenced, the day the family has been waiting for quite some time. So any moment now, we're expecting to see them walk out.
Evidently, there's some kind
Again,
of.
on the other side of this, though, we do know that Nathan Hoffman, the challenger to George Gascón, is saying this is all politically motivated. Why?
Okay, hold on.
Not you, LFT.
I'm refreshing again.
Erik and Lyle Menendez case in terms of the Netflix documentary and other public interests that have been surrounding these two brothers who have been behind bars for decades now. And it's uncertain what this resentencing will mean. Will it mean that they are free because of time served? Is that immediate? Will they be able to go home for Thanksgiving? That's certainly something their attorney, Mark Garagos, has been calling for. Or will that mean kind of a separate resentencing trial where we'll see if their sentence is shortened or not? So these are all the questions that are surrounding this announcement that's expected to begin any moment now, according to the instructions that we got just moments.
Okay, let me refresh.
No, they wouldn't be
many years behind jail at this point, behind bars rather, at this point. So again, on the right side of your screen, you're looking at previous footage of when the trial was taking place, the brothers side by side at that point, and then certainly more recent pictures of them as they were behind bars for all these years. You're also seeing old pictures of the parents that we're talking about. Jose and Kitty Menendez, and they're from an affluent family in the Beverly Hills area. And we do know that the brothers were talked about spending lavish amounts of money after the parents' death. And that was something that was brought up during trial. You know, why did those boys?
Okay, let me refresh.
They spent just as
that
much before they
so
did
soon after their parents were deceased and had passed. So again, according at that time to the trial, they were saying, the prosecutors at that time were saying this was all for the money. However, inadmissible in court at that time during the trial were all of the allegations of abuse that Erik had laid out to his cousin, Andy, as well as other allegations of molestation, sexual abuse, and abuse at the hands of his father. So we do have Christine Devine on the phone right now who could weigh in on this bombshell announcement. Christine, I know you've been following this case very closely for many years.
Hi, Sandra. Yeah, please jump anytime you see the difference.
Okay, let me refresh.
Holy crud.
The momentous
it does it real quick.
Time as we look at this case.
I'm really grateful that you're up here, Will.
I'm just glad I'm not like getting egg on my face too bad. I don't mind a little bit.
No, I'm grateful.
But I'm wondering if all this is because there's so much traffic for this Menendez thing.
Could be.
Sandra?
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. The social climate's different. Some would argue the political climate is different. And the information that was admissible during the trial at that time was certainly different. They're talking about new evidence, which is why all of this is coming to light once again, Christine.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking back to the time I moved to Los Angeles to become a reporter at Fox 11. It was 1990. These murders happened in 1989. And as you were saying, their attorney, Mark Garagos, is not saying that they did not do.
Let me refresh.
The link for the memberships is
sexual abuse at the hands of their father. What kind of drive was that to fear for their lives? And that is what the argument is with Mark Garagos. He's saying that maybe they should have gotten a manslaughter case and not this murder case. And with these decades in prison, DA Gascón is saying, my office is looking at this, and he's quoted in People magazine as saying that some in my office think
Nancy Reagan to me.
they question whether there was indeed sexual abuse allegation. Is there reality to that? And others are saying absolutely. And we have, as you said, other things come to light that make us question that as being a possibility or reality. And we are viewing that in such a different way in this day and age. And the motivation or what that does to a person in.
I was just out, Kelly, just out of high school.
Corroborating type of evidence where a band member of the group Menudo came forward saying that the father of Erik and Lyle Menendez had abused him. We know the father was in the entertainment business.
Right. Yeah, certainly all of this didn't come to light during the trial. And keep in mind, I want to mention the ages of Erik and Lyle. Erik is 55, Lyle is 56, already served many, many years behind bars. They were sentenced to life without parole in this second trial we're talking about that happened in 1996. So clearly, if there's a resentencing and if they are free, they still have a substantial time of life to live free outside of prison. So clearly this is something Mark Garagos, family members have been fighting.
Okay, time to refresh. If anybody's saying anything in chat, I'm on another window so I can refresh it immediately.
No,
I'm not
everybody's
seeing chat.
The sister of Kitty Menendez there being comforted by a companion next to her. So clearly emotions are high here for so many people who have a stake in all of this. The family members, legal representatives, also given the fact that there's so much public interest surrounding this family for so many years. This is certainly a powerful scene to witness. And also a momentous, as you were saying, Christine, time because history is being revisited in a very different light.
I wondered that too, Kelly. I didn't know.
Yeah, reminding our viewers that we are just waiting for the district attorney to step up to that podium. You are going to interrupt me at any moment when you have the visual on that. I have an eye on it as well, but
refresh.
Seen the news conference in recent days from family members of Erik and Lyle Menendez, who are stepping up in support of these boys, saying they should be free. They should be released. In fact, one relative said that
I saw you were
one of the
live.
brothers had written her a letter about being
go over after
abused
this
by his father. And so that is part of the thing that's being in consideration here as well. But then you also have another family member who's saying, no, that it was out of greed, that the boys are going to be written out of their father's will, that was why they killed their parents. What was the motivation behind that, if that was the case? That's my question. So you do have family members on both sides, but a number of them stood up at this news conference and went before the microphone and said, the boys should be free. We as family members want them home.
Back.
Okay, refresh.
Gotten married in prison. Erik has children, stepchildren through one of his marriages.
You just made a couple of things. Can
they
somebody
are
please get black
said to be
sheets
model prisoners, according to their attorney, Mark Garagos, that they should be considered for good behavior.
You were doing what?
And I believe DA Gascón was
thank you. That's exactly what. Thank you.
Saying that they have had good behavior.
Oh, okay.
They do not pose a threat to society. So a lot to consider for his office. Mark Garagos, their attorney, also said they brought this up about a year ago or so. While the accusation has been, is this a political issue for the DA right now? Garagos is saying, we filed papers over a year ago. We've been waiting for an answer.
Okay, refresh.
No worries.
It's interesting because we kind of go to the fact, the boys, right? Keep in mind, Lyle Menendez was 21, Erik Menendez 18 when they admitted to fatally shooting their parents. So very young. So that is why kind of the instinct is that they're brothers, young, you know, had their future ahead of them, and then this happened, totally turning their lives, their world upside down, their families' worlds upside down. And clearly, we've been following this case for 34 years now. They've served behind bars, again, sentenced to a life in prison without the possibility of parole. So that is why this is so major when we talk about
refresh.
sentencing.
I figured out when I refresh, I have
because we do have Christina Gonzalez inside that room where this is all about to take place. Christina,
oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
What is the
I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go along.
Well, hopefully you can hear me. I can't stand in front of the camera because we've got literally over 50 cameras inside a small room, so I'm behind them. But there's everybody has been waiting. Obviously, most of the family, except the woman you see in front, that's Joan Vandermolen. Now, Joan, that's Kitty Menendez's sister. As you mentioned, she has been very, very vocal. She's the only one who's not in the back room because she does walk with a walker. She has difficulty moving, so they would rather her stay sitting down. But she has been very vocal, saying to us last time I talked to her that, you know, if the case were tried today.
Refresh.
Refresh.
Everybody. Essential context as to why the Menendez brothers acted as they
I
did.
wonder if it's just because there's this much traffic
issues
because
such
of
a
this
hard sentence. Now,
I don't know.
with that said,
it's weird.
Her brother, who is not here today, Milton Anderson, he is represented by an attorney. Yeah. He believes completely the opposite. What Milton has said is that he believes the brothers acted out of greed. That he has said on the record that they knew that their father was going to take them out of the will, and that when they found that out, they went out and bought the shotguns and shot both of them, including a reload, before trying to make sure, quote unquote, as it was said in the trials, that Kitty was dead. Now, I covered both trials, and I have to say, in the first
refresh.
We heard really riveting, tearful testimony about the sexual abuse that was alleged at that point. We even heard from, you talked about a letter earlier that was written that is part of the new evidence. That cousin that letter was written to by Kyle Menendez was up on the stand, and he did say that he had been told about the sexual abuse. He never mentioned a letter about it, but he did talk about it. What happened is that first trial ended up in a deadlock, and they went to a second trial. And in that second trial, the judge did not allow the evidence of or any talk about sexual abuse, saying that there was no real proof that there had been any other than people saying it had. And that is when they were convicted and thus serving life in prison. So what Gascón
Holy crap, you're an entire warehouse of crickets.
Prison tomorrow, if they could, is that the new evidence includes a letter that Kyle supposedly wrote to his cousin and telling him and detailing the abuse that was never allowed into evidence. And that would, in essence, prove supposedly that he wasn't making it up when he stood up in the stand and talked about it. And the other one is the testimony later on by one of the band members.
Kelly, you let me know when so we can share your channel out, love.
What what the people who don't believe it say is that, and
Kelly, Kelly's going to do a channel.
There were people on the stand in the first trial who family members who said that the brothers had tried to convince them to come forward with false allegations against their father. So there's always that saying, the truth is somewhere in the middle. And sadly, this has broken down this family into very distinct.
So many questions for them.
Refresh.
I was thinking about this today. Like, if I ever got a chance
that it does look like Gascón is going to ask for a resentencing. Now, what does that mean? Keep in mind that there was supposed to be a hearing about this in December. This was all supposed to happen in December.
I mean, if they're going to resentence them, they would. I mean, I don't see how they would be anything other than time served.
The election, which is
that's what I'm thinking too.
I mean, it's not like they're going to say, "Well, you got to do 40 years, 7 more, we'll call it," or however many more we'll call it. That would be ridiculous.
That is what the tragedy like the brother of Kitty Menendez.
But I don't know. I don't know the legal. I don't pretend to be a lawyer like some people.
At least an effort to get votes, and in that way, it is successful, at least isn't getting attention because, like I said, you've got media here from all around the world. I have not seen
I think they're
this
before a
kind
judge
of media.
within 30 days for the judge to
Okay.
make the decision.
Refresh.
And the judge has
Oh,
the
dear, but
option
we can barely
to
turn
grant
our
or
camera
deny.
around in a very long time. There's so close to 300 journalists.
Well,
just
It's funny, I
packed
messaged
together
you
in
guys
this
today
room.
and was asking
from
when this
all
was going to
around
be
the
tomorrow. Was there a
world. It's
specific time?
gained
And then I looked up and said,
worldwide
gosh, I got a
attention,
message.
this
And that's
headline
my first
making
comment when I
case.
got it.
So
Oh my
clearly,
God, we're
yes,
live.
that's why all
Yeah.
eyes are on this
When I
announcement
hit
right
the
now.
link,
And
I thought,
Christina,
oh,
you
this
made a
is just
good
some kind
point
of
because
thing telling it
you
when
were
it's going to be.
mentioning
And then
the
I
attorneys for
realized I was in
Milton
your live.
Anderson, the 90-year-old brother
Well,
of Kitty
I'm
Menendez. He
glad
actually
that
filed a
since
legal
you
brief
asked last night
asking
when
the
we were
court to
guessing,
keep
I
the
said
brother's
Thursday
original
afternoon or
punishment. So
Friday.
yes, as you were
So
mentioning,
Okay,
there
yeah.
are
I didn't pay that
detractors
close of
from
attention,
all
to be
this.
honest.
And in this legal briefing,
we
he
guessed
says,
and
you
said the
know, they
Kaiser
shot
were
their
to
mother
win,
Kitty
thinking
reloading
we
to
had
ensure
Love
her
those
death.
diaper
And
cakes. I
according
should have
to
ordered
his
those
attorney,
from you.
Refresh.
punishment fits the heinous crime. So even though we're talking a lot about the sympathetic views surrounding this case, given the different social time right now, there are detractors, as you were mentioning. This really divided this family up, obviously, and now is the big question, you know, the timing of this as well. Not only is this something, you know, Milton Anderson is hoping for in terms of
It's
gaining
4:58, so
attention
maybe
to
they're
this,
going to
but
go to a
Nathan
3 o'clock,
Hoffman, the challenger,
which would be,
That's
or
what I'm
whatever time it
saying.
is their time. They're going to go to a
George
strict
Gascón is
5
questioning the
o'clock
timeline
Eastern
of all
time.
this, Christina.
Let's
Well,
hope.
you know, and I'll tell you, because in the last press conference,
I
I
mean,
tried
he's
to
in the
ask these
building, but
questions because I had
Yeah,
spoken to
they're in the
Anderson's
building
attorney,
somewhere.
and I tried to ask these
I
questions.
think it's they're getting a few T's
Refresh.
crossed and I's dotted is my guess.
He has always
right
answered my
before.
questions, and he didn't on this case. And now, before this, you know, one of the things we have just been told is that there will be no questions after this press conference.
Oh, no
And I
questions.
will tell you, it's not because it's a room packed of reporters, because we have had many press conferences where we've had rooms packed of reporters and they have answered questions. At least that's my take on it, and the take of all the media that is sitting here. So we're going to try to ask some questions, simply because the other side, as happy as I know this side of the family is, and as strong a point as they make that the brothers are not a danger to society anymore, that they're going to, if they walk out of prison, have support system. They're not expected to commit crimes, that, you know, that they're going to have everything they
I would
need to
think
be
these
able
two
to
brothers,
be
if
members of,
they were to
you
get
know,
out, they
members of
could
society.
use social media, YouTube or whatever, to make a little money.
Well,
In the
that's
last,
something
you
that
know,
Tia and
since they
I
got
talked
into
about last
prison,
night,
and
too,
to be
in
fair,
terms
they
of
thought they were going to spend the rest
I
of
mean,
their
and
lives in
I'm
prison.
fine with that,
They've been
as long
very
as they, you know,
involved
they do
in
it in a
programs
respectful
to
way, and I
help
think
people
they
with
would.
sexual abuse.
my guess is there'll be
And
some stipulations in
most
terms of how
people
they're
will tell
able
you
to
that you would
profit
do that if
off
you
of
didn't really want to, just
things.
because
I
you want
don't
to
know
get
if
out.
there are things that they're
These
going to have
men
to pay
did not
back,
think they were going to get
in
out for a
terms
very long time, because
Yeah.
the efforts have been
how the,
ongoing and they have been shot down because
their
the
last
trial was
trial, and I
strong.
don't know the
But as you have
stipulations
said,
surrounding that, like if
and
there are
we have
things that
mentioned,
will
times have changed. The point of
still
view
Eric, I have your
of men
glasses
talking about
on.
sexual abuse and how that is perceived by the public is
How
different.
old are they
And that is
in
something that I
today's?
think Gascón is
So
counting
they
on
were 21
to
and
be sympathetic.
18.
So
That people
now
will
they're
say, you know what?
20-year-old at
Let's look at the whole
56
picture.
and 53.
Okay, I got you.
Are getting ready to turn 53.
I remember talking to one of the
Getting ready
jurors
to turn
after the
54.
first trial.
Okay.
And the points they made, which
So
we
I got
talked
about
about
10 years
a
on
lot
them.
back then,
Yeah.
was they were adults. And you can see the family coming in and kind of, you
They
know,
are
as more and
adults,
more
but when you
family
also
is
think of,
arriving,
like,
most of them are in the
remember
back
when
room,
you
but they're
were like
beginning to
your
come out of the
senior
back
year
room.
of
So
high
maybe, and hopefully we'll be able to get this started soon, because they are
in your
beginning to come
freshman
out
year
of the
into
back room
college.
where they
Like,
were
yes,
meeting.
we are adults,
But to the point
but
I was making, I remember talking to jurors saying, you know, they were
We are going to go
adults.
live later on
It's not like
tonight
they were
to
15
discuss some
years
other
old. They could have
things.
gotten out. One
And I'll
of them
tell
had
you
gone to
after
Princeton.
the
They could have just said, you know,
after this
no
is
more,
over.
leaving. And of course, you can never say what you're going to do. I'm just making the
what's that
point of what
guy's name
people
right
say,
there
Right.
that
because
put his back to us walking out?
it's such a
Oh,
horrible thing to even think about.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And the
he looked
descriptions of the
familiar
abuse were
now.
horrible.
I noticed him
There's very
earlier.
Refresh.
Pivot.
Dang,
Pivot.
refresh.
Pivot.
and that
Pivot.
alone
Pivot.
was pretty evident.
Right.
Now, And it was allowed into testimony. It was just an issue of the sexual abuse. That
Right.
became
Okay, who do you
the
think
needle,
Eric looks like?
as it
Absolutely.
were, the
Who is
line in the sand.
And as we
And that's
continue,
what
I
they're
mean, I think
saying
it's
should have
obvious
been
who
allowed.
Lyle looks
as we
like.
continue, Christina, thank you for that insight
But
to
he's got
watch
like
your
the
live
shape
picture
of
as
the
family
face of
members
like
start
kitty
entering this
Kennedy.
room. We're expecting pretty much, hopefully, that the announcement will be made shortly.
I
But I
think
want to
she's
bring in
Kennedy
Christine
over
Devine,
there
who's been
waving.
hanging on, listening to all of this commentary.
I
Also,
can.
you were here during the time of all this back
I
in
sure can.
1995. Let's go a year
We can make it
before
great. If not,
this
hit the
trial
replay
was even
crew.
in the
We're good with
headlines.
that, too.
We were talking about the O.J. Simpson.
Oh, don't get us. Hey, listen,
Okay,
Fox 11.
refresh.
Don't start trumping on what we want to talk about later. We know all
Around
this stuff.
the judicial system, around prosecutors, around what the outcome was on that case. And then a year later to be followed by this. I mean, the public climate around that time, and this was before, you know, court TV, before we had all of these splashy trials that people were following day in and day out. These were the two headline grabbing cases of that time. But again, a very different social time. I wonder, Christine, if you could take me back to that time and just the public attitude towards watching justice in motion, and if people felt that justice was being served.
Let me just say, Christina Gonzalez gave great insight as she had covered these cases. Christina, I think, is perhaps the longest employee at Fox 11.
Wait, so what's interesting is that just thinking about this to give us an idea, like time frame,
Let me just take you
I
back
don't
to
know
when this crime
what
happened
he
in
says that
1989. It was shocking.
that the
A
DA's
crime,
office,
a
if he says
double
the
murder
DA's
in
office
Beverly
is on
Hills,
board,
a husband and a wife gunned down
and
in
he's
their
announcing
home
that today.
with no
I don't
suspect
know if
in
that means
mind
that
at the
the 30
moment.
days
People were
starts now. Like
terrified that a
that
crime
would
like this
put
could
us at
happen.
at
There was
what?
a thought, was it a
November
mob hit? Who would have done
23rd?
something like this? There was true
Yeah.
fear.
Potentially,
Now,
so
you
that's
mentioned
like
the
It would
a
be
O.J.
right
rare.
around
Simpson case. When O.J.
Thanksgiving,
Simpson
so I
was
don't know
cleared
how
by
they
the
would,
jury, there was
if
some
they're
thought
even,
that the
you know what I
district
mean?
attorney's office needed a win, and they got this win with the Erik and Lyle
Aren't they,
Menendez
though?
case.
We
But
have
now,
27
Sandra, I'm thinking of
votes.
all the
Release
generations
at
who did not live through this
56%,
era,
resentencing
who are
is
just hearing about
41%,
this
and
perhaps on
retrial
the
is
Netflix
4%.
series
I'm really
or
surprised.
news stories. They
Oh,
didn't
I
live
voted
this
for
era,
resentencing.
but they're
Refresh.
You really are.
I don't know if the ballot was
Weinstein,
supposed to be anonymous. But
you know,
that's
a
what
lot
I
of different
voted
cases that have been
Oh,
brought to
JLR
light.
streaming
The
it
Diddy
too.
case right now about sexual coercion or abuse.
I don't know. I saw a picture of
And
him
I
on
think
Facebook
that
earlier
our
in the
eyes are
sweatshirt
open
that
to it
said
in a whole
Rico
different way
King,
where
and I
we
was
didn't
like,
talk
I'm done.
about these things.
I know it could
How
melt
much did
streaming.
Kitty Menendez know or not know? But the thing is there truth to what Erik and Lyle are
Well, we're
saying?
just
Is there
our
enough
own little
evidence
group
to
over here on the
possibly
little
give it
corner of
some
the
truth?
internet.
And that's really what's weighing here on
These
the DA
glasses
with this
are
letter
foggy.
from the
Huh?
that was written to
These
the
glasses are foggy.
about
Yours are? I
Erik
can't
and Lyle
see them.
Menendez
I
that
wouldn't
their father
know.
was abusing them. And the
I'm
band
laughing at
members
that
from
because I went to the
Menudo, to me,
doctor
that
today
was
and I
a
was in the
true
bathroom and they
game
had a bunch of
changer.
those little
The
alcohol wipes.
band members coming forward.
And I
Did you swipe
said,
them?
so I'm not a
Did you
thief,
how
but
many
I
did
did
you put in
borrow
your
about
pocket?
10 of them.
Good. They're the best.
Okay, refresh. But I borrowed about 10 of them.
Pivot.
Abuse and the church abuse cases we've
If
covered.
for some
and those
reason when they
settlements,
do come live and
I
they
think
start
there's
talking and we miss something, I'll
tendency to say,
refresh
well,
it. And if we
maybe
have to go
it's
back, we
worth
will.
a
But
look.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I
I'm
didn't
watching
know
the
enough
other
about this
window, and as
topic,
soon
and
as it does
I've got a young
something,
man
I'm
who's been calling
refreshing.
me who was in one of these church abuse
I'm not
cases.
worried about it. I think we're
And
good.
he and
We'll
his
fix
brother
it.
were
We
victimized.
got it.
There you go. I'm just kind of curious. I'm actually on my phone right now, getting ready to go on Google
I
and find out
didn't.
what's going on
I
the
turned
internet.
it internal. I used
No,
drugs.
don't do that.
I
Then we'll
used
lose everything.
alcohol. I
You
went
hired
to
in North
rehab.
Carolina. You
I
know how this
suffered
works.
internally
None of us
great,
can
in a
move.
great
I
way.
never have problems.
So he
Honestly, I
has
don't.
an eye
So,
on this case as well.
I
So it's
swear to
bringing up a
gracious,
lot
then
of
you
different
need to
things.
move further
And we
east
but
to watch
obviously,
what
I live in
all
North
this
Carolina.
is.
You live in North
And I just
Carolina,
want to
so
remind
maybe
people,
it's a North
it's
Carolina
not
thing.
that
I
they will
don't
be
know.
found guilty.
It's got to be, I swear, when you go further east, it gets worse and worse.
Manslaughter. Again, not that they're not guilty. That
Right.
is not the issue here at hand.
Right, as we've all been saying, yes, the issue is not, in fact, did they do the
No, I had
crime?
to get a
They
totally
admitted
different
that they
tone
did,
for
but the
the
reason
Outer
behind
Banks,
it, right,
to
that
get, like,
wasn't permissible in the
Hatteras
court of
and
law back
Okotoks stuff
then,
because
now came to light,
don't
and
start, like, my
clearly a
interior.
different social
They
period.
cut the service around
Christina, we
here.
see some action inside that room. Is this about to begin?
And there have been several times where we've seen people beginning to walk up, but I do see Gerardo's beginning to walk out in such a way that he is escorting family members out, and that is what he has usually done in the past.
He's worked his entire life to to be who he is, and
you gotta love Gerardo.
now he's getting
before
a golden age spotlight, which he deserves, I think.
There we see George Gascón.
They flew in a couple of weeks ago, and there's George Gascón saying hi to Joan.
Like Beauty and the Beast just starts playing in my head.
So I do believe this is going to start at any moment. Let's see if it does. I'm going to let him
But I think of the candlestick guy and not actually Gascón.
And let him get started.
All right. Thank you so much, Christina. We'll check back in with you. And Christine Devine, thank you so much.
His hair looks like
now we have the LA District Attorney George Gascón in front of the microphone there, expected to make this bombshell announcement. Let's listen.
Before I begin speaking, I want to also introduce some other people that are here with me, and I hope I'm pronouncing the names right, because I think
seriously, he's had his hand on the
Jose Menendez, Jose Menendez, and niece Karen Vandermolen, and Katie's niece. They're all here with us. Also with us here is Brock Lunsford. He's the assistant head deputy for the post-litigation conviction unit. And Nancy Cervier, who is the Deputy District Attorney in charge of the resentencing unit. Let me begin by telling you that this is a case where we've had many people in this office spend a great deal of time reviewing the case. I have to tell you unequivocally that we don't have a universal agreement.
You look about as nervous as the girl behind him.
Okay.
Not a universal
agreement. The
agreement.
Menendez brothers should stay in prison the rest of their life, and they do not believe that they were molested. And there are people in the office that strongly believe that they should be released immediately, and that they were in fact molested.
Will, you don't have to make it larger if you don't want to.
Okay, I mean, I'm doing that, but I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, you're probably thinking, that every little thing I'm doing is adding to the problem.
You're good.
Because I just closed every window I had on Facebook and everything, so I'm just going to leave it like it is.
Under the law, resentencing is appropriate, and I am going to recommend that to a court tomorrow.
Perfect.
What that means in this particular case is that we're
this was my nightmare.
Going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed, and that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are 2 murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
The teams that have worked in this,
that kind of gives them a little middle ground,
have spent literally probably hundreds of hours by now looking at this case. These cases were originally presented on the habeas side of it, which I'll explain in a moment what that is.
Okay.
Initiated resentencing occurred earlier this year.
Twitter is
and there have
blowing
been
up.
people in this office working in these cases from the very beginning, as well as many other cases that we have. The reason why I'm here today and why I came in front of all of you about 10 days ago is because there was a more recent documentary about the case that again brought a tremendous amount of public attention. And we know there have been other documentaries, so this is not the first, this is the more recent one.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
And frankly, our office got
It's not a
flooded
documentary
with
at all.
requests for information.
This is not the first documentary.
It was not
And
a
even though
documentary.
this case was already
It's not
scheduled to be
adaptation.
heard
It's not
in
even
late
close.
November,
It's more fiction.
I
it's
decided
like
to
a,
move this forward because,
dramatic
quite
series,
frankly,
isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
we did not have enough resources to handle all the requests. And one of the things that I thrive to do in this office is to be very transparent in everything that we do.
Use that wheel. like that. I like that
In
better.
this case, we review the prison files. And you have to understand that the way the process works, when you're talking about a sentence and resentencing under the law, it really focuses not necessarily on what the original crimes were, but it focuses on, has the person be released safely into the community? Under that rubric, since I've been in office, we have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. Only 4 have reoffended. If that was a regular recidivism rate in this country, we would be the safest nation in the world. But we know that it's not. In fact, somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people that go to prison reoffend and get rearrested. And that's why we have so many problems. However, when you look at the case of the Menendez brothers, you see 2 very young people. One was 19 and the other was 21 when they committed these horrible acts. And I want to underline, they were horrible acts. There is no excuse for murder. And I will never imply that what we're doing here is to excuse that behavior. Because even if you get abused, the right path is to call the police, seek help. Cool. But I understand also how sometimes people get desperate. We often see women, for instance, that have been battered for years, and sometimes they will murder their abuser out of desperation. And I do believe that the brothers were subjected to a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the home and molestation.
He admitted it.
But they went to prison for life without the possibility of parole, which meant that certainly under the law at that time, they had no hopes of ever getting out. They could have done what many other people do, which is basically said, you know what, I'm here for the rest of my life, so I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to join gangs, I'm going to live the life of the prison. But they never did that. To the contrary, even though they didn't think that they would ever be let free, they engaged in a different journey. A journey of redemption and a journey of rehabilitation. And often the people that begin their journey of rehabilitation and redemption in prison is often very internal. And what they do, and one of our lawyers pointed out this today, is usually the path is people try to further their education, do things for self-improvement, which the brothers have done, by the way. But it's more unique or less usual, I guess, when people not only do that, but they also begin to engage in ways to make life for others better. And in this case, the brothers have been doing so for a very long time, creating groups to deal with how to address untreated trauma, creating groups to deal with other inmates that have physical disabilities and may be treated differently. Even in one case, Lyle negotiating for other inmates as to the conditions that they live under during prison. And all this was done by 2 young people. Now they're not as young. They had no hopes of ever getting out of prison.
It is, Kelly, I agree.
They have been in prison for nearly 35 years.
I got to get my actual glasses.
I believe that they have paid their debt to society. And the system provides a vehicle for their case to be reviewed by a parole board. And if the parole concurs with my assessment, and it will be their decision, they will be released accordingly. I must underline, however, this case will be filed in court tomorrow. The final decision will be made by the judge Court has to agree with my conclusion that they deserve to be resentenced. It is very possible that there may be members of this office that will be present in court opposing their resentencing. And they have a right to do so. And we encourage those that disagree with us to speak, and the court is the appropriate place to do it. We certainly feel we're very sure not only that the brothers have rehabilitated and that they will be safe to be reintegrated in our society, but that they have paid their dues, not only for the crimes that they committed, but because of all the other things they have done to improve the life of so many others. So, again, we will be filing for resentencing tomorrow. We're seeking that they would be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, as opposed to life without the possibility of parole, which is they currently have. That means that they would have 50 years to life because there were 2 murders. But because of the age upon which they were convicted, under 26, under current law, that means they're eligible for youthful parole.
That's
I think there is also important
in chat
to have some introspection today, because I think that often, for cultural reasons, we don't believe victims of sexual assault, whether they're women, whether they're men. We saw in our first trial, which, by the way, they were tried twice. The first trial hung, meaning the jury could not come to a conclusion, and in fact, about half of the jury wanted to convict them of manslaughter, which, if that were have been the case, they would have been off prison a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And then there was a second trial, and then they were convicted of murder with special circumstances, which led to the life without the possibility of parole. But it's salient to understand that our own implicit and sometimes explicit bias around sexual abuse and sexual assault often leads us to severe injustices in our community. And I want to speak to those that are victims of sexual assault now, whether you're a man or a woman. Know that we're here for you. If you're a victim of sexual assault in this community, and by that we're talking about LA County, not just LA City, you can come for help. Whether you're prepared to prosecute or not, we will be here for you. We have services for you. And if you're prepared to move forward with the prosecution, we will evaluate it as we do any other case. And if we believe that the evidence is there to present a credible case in front of a jury that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, we would proceed accordingly. You do not have to suffer alone. You don't have to keep it to yourself. And help is here unconditionally. I'm going to say a few words in Spanish because I know there's tremendous amount of interest from the Spanish media, and I know that there are going to be other speakers today, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Primero que nada, quiero dar las gracias a todos.
There you have it, LA County District Attorney George Gascón saying that he believes Erik and Lyle Menendez have paid their debt to society, serving nearly 35 years in prison, and that they should be released accordingly. By that, he is recommending resentencing to the court tomorrow, filing that motion, hoping that they will get life without parole removed from their case, and they will be sentenced to murder. He says that a murder charge would be given 50 years to life in prison, and given the fact that Erik and Lyle Menendez committed these crimes under the age of 26 at the time, that they would be eligible for parole immediately. That is the announcement made by LA County DA George Gascón today. So he will be actually entering this in court tomorrow. So a big decision here. Obviously, a judge will make the final decision in all of this. And George Gascón, flanked by members of the Menendez family, some getting emotional as he was making that announcement. Behind him, you can see the members who have been fighting for this, supporting this, members of the family. And Gascón saying that the two men, Erik and Lyle, the brothers,
I'm curious as what
have
the
been
time frame will
model
kind of be,
citizens
how this will drag
behind
on.
bars, helping other inmates,
Do what now?
negotiating for their
You can take it
conditions
down
in
now.
prison.
Okay.
They have obviously.
Thank you so much, Will. I wonder what the time frame. I just wrote that down. I wonder how long does it take? Do we have to wait for the parole hearing?
Well,
after the filing, and
after
also
after the filing, once he files this tomorrow, then they've got 30 days,
right,
for it to be seen by the judge.
I want to know after, like, once the judge makes his decision, how long do we have to wait for parole?
Yeah, how long before parole board hearing, and then
I don't think they have to necessarily go before a parole board to actually have their release fulfilled, because what the resentencing would do is they're taking the life without parole, take that off the table. They're still going to be charged with the murder, but you're taking life without parole off the table. They've already. That's why I do believe Gascón even brought up their behavior and achievements already behind bars, and how they've conducted themselves since being in prison, already to establish, their character, the credibility, and the trueness of quote unquote rehabilitation and no longer being a threat to society. From everything I've read, I do not believe, I think the judge at that point, I mean, then you have to deal with literally the logistics of filing the papers and, and okay, here's your stuff and good luck to you kind of deal. I could be very, very wrong though, but from everything I've read and what I saw, I don't necessarily think that it would be going before the parole board, because
you're saying it could be done and they could stamp it and.
I really think, like a judge reviewing all this and understanding, everything that they're, I mean, if he chooses to accept it and wants to pursue it, looking at everything. And I do believe that's why he talked again about their behavior, what they've achieved, the age at the time of the crimes, and now taking into account some credibility to their that bolsters their testimony, all that, the filing. So they're filing the motion that would have, again, life without parole removed.
Right.
You're charged with murder.
Hang on 1 second. Because I want to make sure that we address the chat on this one too. Wolfie is saying she has her feelings, which I respect. And
absolutely.
I understand. I completely understand. And one thing I'm proud of Wolfie for saying is that she still stands firmly in her feelings and her morals. Let me just put this up there. She said it's excusing it, in my opinion. My question is, in 35 years, do you think they have done some good? Because that's what I'm going with. I'm not saying that they're excusing anything, because I excuse nothing with murder. Nothing. There is no excuse. None. And that's very black and white. But do you think they have rehabilitated? Do you think they could possibly be rehabilitated? And that's just my question to Wolfie. And that's not trying to steer you in my direction. It's just, I'm genuine. It's a question. It's principle to you. I see that. And I respect it. And I'm glad, I have to say, I'm really glad that you came in. I wasn't sure that you would. But I'm glad that you came in and voiced your opinion. I'm really glad that you came in and voiced your opinion. Yeah. Also, I want to say that you're the one who got me to watch Monsters, and I'm on episode 5, and we're going to do a review of that this evening too, and talk about that along with our timeline later, a little bit later. I think They have a sentence to serve. Why are we sentencing just to go back and resentence? Okay. Like I said, I respect your opinion and your thoughts and your feelings. I truly, truly do. I don't think you're alone. I think there's going to be many people like you who feel the same. But I wanted to just address, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, LFT. I really am. I just wanted to make sure that I addressed, I wanted to say Dietz. It's not Dietz, it's Wolfie. I wanted to make sure that I addressed Wolfie and that she's Halloween Dietz. That's right. I wanted to make sure that I addressed her and that I thanked her for coming in opposition, because I think that's really important to have the other side. I really think it's important to hear the other side and those who might be feeling the same way, to know that it's okay to come in here and disagree. And that's all. I just wanted to say that, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm glad she, rather than being conflicted and bouncing both ways, that she still feels the way she does. I'd rather feel that way than,
Me too.
Somewhere in the middle.
I like that she's standing firm, and I respect it.
Absolutely.
She says she's a nice wolf. She just has her feelings. And I respect those feelings. I really do. And I think they're brilliant. And like I said, I don't think that you're alone. I think there's a lot of people that are going to feel the same way.
Yeah, if I had to guess, the people that I've talked to, it's like maybe 70, 30. I don't know, that you can't put a number on it, but more than half think they ought to be released. And then there's the strong part that think they shouldn't, but it's not quite as much. But that doesn't make right or wrong, that that's what the decision you should make, but because of the poll, but or what people are thinking. But that's just my feeling.
Yeah. Navigator says that she's on the same page as Wolfie. See, another, and I love this. Thank you, Navigator. This is a tough one. There was no justice served in any aspect. I mean, 35 years in prison is a long, that's more than some people have done. I'm not going to argue that point, though. I don't feel like there's an argument to that point. I just feel like you're making a point there, and I need to just take it. Yes, I will read your comment from above. Your comment from above is, I would have a difference in opinion if they did not try to be better in prison. If they were not doing anything to rehabilitate themselves, then I would say no for them getting out. So you feel like the rehabilitation is a strong point for them as well. That's where my feelings are too, not the crime itself, but more what they've done with themselves since they've been in prison.
Yeah, and that's over a lot, 35 years too, because they've built this prison record of getting along and being contributing to their prison environment and the people around them. And that's not just a small amount of time to have done things and behaved in that manner. So that speaks volumes to me, at least.
After you addressed that comment above, I wrote up the press release that goes along with this. It was just released about 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, and it answers some of the questions that y'all have.
I have an actual friend on YouTube that has a prison channel genre. He's gotten away from that, but he's starting to do some true crime. You guys, it'd be interesting if you heard what he would tell you. He pulled 13 years in the California penal system, and he had to unaffiliate from gangs because he had to affiliate in prison. Well, he was affiliated before he went to prison, but once you do that, you have to affiliate in prison for your own safety. But he could shed a lot of light of what the pressures these guys have been under, and what they've had to go through to survive 35 years in the California penal system.
Will you please drop the link in chat? Because I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, let me pull him up, and I'll talk to him sometime. He would be an interesting guy to come on and shed light on this, and he's a good dude. I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna pull this thing up on my other window here, and
okay, thank you. So based on what others should be looked at too, this is what, if you could, these are my notes, because I took notes. I agree with this. And this was one of the comments that I wrote down, was somewhere in my shady ass notes here. Other people should be looked at too. Where did I write this? Oh, I said, does this give others hope if they excel in rehabilitation or redemption? So I love that comment. It's not a fair system. That part I agree with you on. I doubt it. Navigator, just because they follow the rules in prison doesn't mean they are rehabilitated or and they're
Well, I think we've seen many cases that prove that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you heard the percentages he was talking about of the people they have released. 300 cases, they had 4 of recidivism out of 300 that had recidivism. I think they screen it pretty well where when they do make a decision, that's a pretty high percentage of getting it right.
They've reviewed, in terms of right now, the resentencing, have reviewed or is actively reviewing 705 cases, resulting in 332 resentencings, which would become 334 if the court grants the resentencing of the Menendez brothers. This is the press release that the DA's office released, actually as right at the end as he was speaking, but I put the link in chat a few minutes ago, but if you also provided other links for y'all to go look at further up, and we'll put it in the description about the resentencing unit in the LA County's District Attorney's Office, as well as this new special directive as it relates to resentencing. But how soon could the brothers be released if the judge approves the DA's recommendation? It's not possible for our office to speculate because any release decision would be made by the judge. If and when the judge sentences the brothers or grants the defense's habeas petition, the judge would decide when and if they would be released. And it said, and then the other question, here we go, hold on. These were 2 other ones, I think. Why are you making this resentencing announcement now? Earlier this year, the brothers' attorneys provided substantial material in the form of letters of support and prison records to establish their claim that the brothers have been rehabilitated and should be resentenced. We have been working diligently to thoroughly investigate their claims, and prosecutors in our office's resentencing unit have reached a decision. The Menendez brothers filed a habeas petition in May of 2023. Why is the next court date for the DA to respond to the habeas petition November 26th? They had it the 29th the other day, but I guess it's back to the 26th. Okay. To respond to the filing, the DA's office has been in the process of reviewing transcripts, court files, and other documents to address the claims raised in the petition. Our office is dedicated to a thorough and fair process and is working as quickly as justice permits. The timing for our response has been agreed to by the defense. And I think why this is still on the table, the habeas, why that's being mentioned is because, as Garagos and I think Gascón said, in early October too, even if they're permitted to still have, they can put a stay on the habeas filing for right now if resentencing was offered even by the DA's office. So right now it's kind of like they put a stay on the habeas filing, which they still have the right to pursue, but they get to put a stay on that because now the DA's office has decided they are willing to move forward with a resentencing and putting that before the judge. So it'll depend on like what the judge does with that, how he decides whether to grant or deny the possibility of the resentencing. And then if he were to deny it, then boom, the habeas keep processing. That the stays removed from the habeas filing, and then they're permitted to be in court. So they wouldn't, I don't think they necessarily are taking that off the table quite yet, because also the 26th is less than 30 days from even when, it's more than 30 days from when this would happen. So I get maybe why that's still on the calendar. I don't know if it'll stay on the calendar, but just FYI. But anyway, if y'all want to see it, sorry.
I want to thank you girls for doing all the research y'all done and bringing up all these great things to debate and think about and make you, look at the whole situation. And y'all have done a great job because, I mean,
thank you, boss
the
man.
timelines and the week leading up to the thing, and I'm sure you're going to do a lot more, but
Tia's done a lot.
it's made it fun again to do a little bit of true crime, which I have not been doing because of, we won't talk, just the way things are.
Well, you'll be impressed at everything Tia's done, Will, in terms of going through the timeline and like she dove back in like off the high dive, ready, like she's not getting out of the pool yet, kind of deal. So she's
I love Rachel, and I wait until I bark. That case will always have my whole heart and soul, as will Harry Milligan. Those are the two cases that will have my whole heart and soul. There's a couple others that I am fascinated with, that I am involved. This is another one. Menendez has always been something that I'm passionate about, and I'm not really sure why. It's not a release thing. It's not them in jail. It's just the whole discussion around them that I'm fascinated by, I think. But I did do a outline for the week that we talked about, the week prior to their murders, but I had some errors, so I'm correcting those, and we're going to go live with that later. Also, I made the commitment to watch Monsters. I'm on episode 5, but we're going to do, LFT and I are going to talk about that tonight as well, and we're going to tell you the little thing that Wolfie pulled on us. She got me good. Smart. She got me feel good. I'm just going to tell you that.
Well, she pointed out a few things, and I don't think we've hit them all, but I swear that did make me giggle between.
Yeah, she got me
rewatching it and then texting going, I think I just found the part that Wolfie was talking about. And then
all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm supposed to look at this. And I'm not going to ruin it. I don't want to tell you what it is because I'll tell you later. But and I was like, oh, girl,
have you ever found the book that Wolfie was telling you about? Have you found it yet?
No, it legit doesn't exist unless I want to pay $90 for it, and I'm not paying $90 for it.
Yeah.
No, never did.
I was just curious because she gave a lot of links to a lot of different things, which were very, very good.
I looked everywhere. Wolfie looked, LFT looked, my husband and my daughter. My daughter works at the library. She looked.
Well, she can't find it, then I would have to say that we might have problems.
She didn't have it, and she couldn't find it. So,
that was odd almost.
Or if Wolfie has it, we're going to have to do a Wolfie read aloud, and she's going to have to give us the audible version of reading the book to us. That could be like a members only thing, and that would probably take a lot of persuasion for us.
Well, that would take a lot of
what prison was Can you guys tell me what prison Erik and Lyle are in California? I'm just curious.
Yes, they were, for like that they're in now together. They're both now in, oh my gosh. I should have said that. It's right. I wrote it down right here in front of my face, and I'm just having a break.
The reason I asked, like I say, my buddy who has the channel that I dropped the link to, he's pulled time and he could tell you every in and out and every do and don't in all those prisons and what goes on and how it works. It would really be insightful. I'm telling you.
Erik was in Donovan. Erik, I think Donovan, and Lyle originally went to the Mule Creek State Prison, but now I think they are both in Donovan, I believe.
Yes,
I think they're both at Donovan. Richard Donovan, I believe, or it's. I think that is correct because I have, and this was April 17th, 1996. Life without parole. Erik, Richard Donovan, Lyle, Mule Creek State Prison.
Yeah. What time are we going live, LFT? What do you think? What's a good time?
9 or so. I don't know if you want to go early or later. I mean,
no, 9's perfect.
I was going to say, is that work for
9 p.m. Kelly?
I have things I need to watch. Like one point, I want to finish an episode of The Monsters, so I'm going to speed that up on Netflix. I'll review some of the notes, but I would say 9 or 9:30. Like
okay.
I'm kind of hungry.
Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be live around, I'll say 9:30 for good measure. We'll give us a little time to correct my errors that I made in look at all my damn notes. I'm writing all over the place. I'm writing upside down now. I need to correct this. And then we,
I think gracious Tomboy parked.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank gracious.
So we'll go over this tonight. We'll go over monsters, and then we'll just talk about shit. If anybody wants to come up, if Wheel wants to come up and talk, or anybody, we can. I'd love to. I really want to hear what other people have to say. You don't just have to hear what we have to say. I would like to hear what others have to say and their feelings.
Yeah, I like that because it makes you. Every time Wolfie would say something, I would bounce back and forth, and I would tend to bounce. Okay, telephone. No.
And now who's getting the booty call? Wheel.
No, it's not a booty call. This is some idiot trying to sell me burial insurance.
I'm sure you.
That made me laugh the other night because you were like LFT booty call, and then I was like, actually, it's Dad. What did you sign this, or did you send this in?
I was just messing with you. I was messing with you just because when I heard
thought that was funny as hell.
I said booty call.
Yeah, if you want to come up later, Wheel, and talk with us, I'd love to have you up and just hear.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my friend because I'd like you guys to talk. I think he would really add a lot of what they've been through. Some night you guys could hear because he's been in the ins and outs.
I would love that.
He de-affiliated when he was when he left prison, and he had to move from California to Florida. He's had a prison channel. He's getting away from that, doing a little more true crime, and he's just a good guy. And like I say, I dropped the link, and I can drop it again. But you guys go look.
Drop it again because I want to make sure that we subscribe to him and that we share his channel out.
Yeah, he's and hey, they deal with drama over there too. He's had a fair amount of that here and there, but he pushes away from it and hasn't embraced it at all. But yeah, he would add a lot of insight. You guys would be, and he's a really nice guy.
That would be amazing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Tomboy, sorry, I just want to answer this. Sorry to interrupt you, Will, real quick.
No, you didn't interrupt.
Tomboy, I don't know if they kind of had a division of it already. I think there was kind of a group already within the DA's office when it came to like resentencing. But according to their website, linked well above, the resentencing unit was kind of amended, reestablished April of 2021. And then the special directive went out that kind of outlines even more. It's a PDF thing. So it'll also be linked. It's linked above in the messages, and it will be in the description. But I believe it was July or something of 2022. So definitely go within the DA's office when you go to the website and stuff, and it kind of explains it. It's very simple, but it does say April of 2021. And then I think they worked out some kinks. We were able to admit, following with state laws and things, which hence the creation of a special directive 22-05, I think. Oh my God, why do I remember all this? And then that was sent out July of 2022 to all essentially prosecutors, to everyone.
Hi, Grandma Sherry. Thanks for coming in. We love you.
Yeah, one question I asked you, Tia, the other day in a comment was, let's say the unaliving never occurred and our parents were eventually charged and convicted of their abusive behaviors, whatever the charges, how far they went or whatever, what would have been the appropriate sentence for them? Of course, you can't determine that without knowing what they were charged. But that's a question in my head I ask us. How many people go to prison for SA and get out, and what's the recidivism rate for them? It's just about 100%, it seems to me.
Agreed.
So I don't know that. I mean, that's
and I think it was
something you can ponder on.
And I think they weren't always on the same list. No, they weren't always on that list. Tomboy Charm that came after I think the most recent habeas filing was that the last one was 2005, and then it was 2023 that they did the latest one. There was one in I think 2005.
It hasn't been. They haven't done it.
And the one from 2023 that's still in the process, and still
that's right.
That they're putting the stay on. But no, until then, I don't think the brothers, you're not automatic. Their terms, for those convicted, if you're able to qualify and you want to file for a resentencing, it maps that all out. But you have to meet, there's certain qualifications for that. So it's not necessarily like you're automatically on a list or whatnot. There's definitely some criteria and eligibility things that have to be met for the petitioner. If he has to represent himself, I think if you meet the criteria and you don't have an attorney, they get you one and you can file it. And then otherwise, someone like the Menendez that do, they're able to pursue it because they meet the eligibility, the criteria for it. And then you work with counsel to follow through with it. And a big part of that is even getting to the DA, because the DA is the one that has the call on whether or not to pursue a resentencing as an option. That's where his power lies. And now the power lies with the judge, though, whether to grant or deny it, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
It's hard to watch documentaries after seeking facts and watching trials. I don't watch Dateline because of the dramatization. I'm telling you, Kelly B, I get it, because when they kept talking about this new Netflix documentary about the Menendez, I was looking for it. And when I clicked on Monsters, I was like, this is like a reenactment or like the adaptation to the story. I was like, this is like
we called it a dramatic series. I think that's
because I like when I think documentaries, I think of
factual, right?
Put together, and it's like live footage, and then going back to think. I don't know. I just have a different vision. I have so many questions. Well, I hope you write them all down in a parking lot, and we'll have them ready. But
we need to park before you start writing down.
Yeah, I hope you've got a notepad and a pencil, or like a spare sheet of like a receipt and a lipstick, something to write with, to write down all your questions. But
oh my God, I just got a message. Duty Ron has cancer. He has a live in 2 hours. Oh Jesus.
I tell you, Duty Ron is the real deal. He's factual, he's to the point, and if he tells you something, you can believe it.
You can put your money on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
damn.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, sending prayers and healing prayers to him and his family. That's awful. You guys go tune into Duty Ron and make sure you send some love over there. Shoot, I hate that. Thank you so much for being here with us today and through all of our technical difficulties. As usual with the Cypher podcast, that's what we do here. We do provide you with the technical difficulties, but thankfully the boss man came up and was able to help us get through this, because I was about to throw my computer out the window. So thank you very much.
I'm glad I didn't sign a check I couldn't cash. It did turn out okay, but I kept having this vision. I said, oh my God, they're going to start talking, and right when they do it, so I'm going to go out and I'm not going to be able to refresh. This is going to be awful.
No, you saved us as usual.
It ended up working, and now I'm not having any internet problems. So I'm just in my head. I'm trying to wonder.
I want to know why it's not right. I want to know why it's not working when we have the option to share and stuff, and it will bring it up. But how many of us have either gotten no sound or the freaking crackly which I can't stand. It's so annoying, and I know that several people are dealing but I don't get it.
I've never had this problem. I'm just telling you, I don't have the internet problems. I could stream 3. I've got 3 YouTube streams going right now.
And look at you, and you come over to the Cypher, you got all the problems.
No, I don't know. I think it's a North Carolina thing, because I think Ella had it and I had it, and I don't know. Well, I'm gonna look as soon as I get off here. I'm gonna be looking to find out what's going on.
I had ABC7 running the whole time, just mute, like I had it muted. So I had another YouTube window open, StreamYard, and the Google thing checking for the press release and stuff. And it all worked fine on my end. But God, if I had gone to share or something, it wouldn't have been the audio or things would have shut down.
Yeah,
but
luckily it worked out all right. I was glad I was able to help, and I've enjoyed this. And I can't believe that I messaged you today. Like, when is this going to be tomorrow?
I know, it was so
kind of set the time. Well, it's going to be at 11. Maybe I want to be there. And then all of a sudden, I seen the link. Well, I hit the link, and I didn't think the link was to a live stream. And then my first comment was, "Oh my God, you're live!" I was shocked. I mean, I could have very easily missed all of this.
I know. I'm glad you didn't. I'm really glad you didn't. Thank you for being with us.
But, I appreciate it, guys. I really do.
Thank you for this comment, by the way. This just threw me down on the floor and made me giggle my ass off. Thank you all for being here so much. And I hope everyone has a great day. We'll be live around 9:30 later on tonight, going over some other things, Menendez. And stay safe and join us later on for some great talks. Take care, everybody.
Thanks so
All right.
much.
Later, ladies.
Bye.
Have a good one. Thank you again, Will.